Hello there, welcome back everyone to my channel. Today we're listening to a song called Över oss på Hinanden by Flamme. Perhaps. If you can't tell already, this is a song in Danish. So that's kind of exciting, I gotta admit. It's not often that I listen to songs sung in Danish, even though I live so close, but I'm just excited to hear what they've got here, so let's start listening to it. Well, this is upbeat. It's like the electric guitar is kind of moving like a bass line in the background. Ooh, okay, it's this super bright synth piano. Some very 80s inspired. It's like it's a brilliant. Very funky. That like little transition into this pre-chorus here. The major to minor. Very cheerful. It's like a 1-4-5. Yep, all major. It's very well flowing, I think. It's quite nice. These instrumental breaks are great. It's like the synth is so distinct, and then these guitar parts are really memorable, I think. Really nice. The 1 to the 3, the minor 3, and the major 4, the minor 2. It's like a really nice chord progression, I think. Super memorable vocal arrangement in this as well. Kick drum is quite static, but I think I like the sound of it. It's very dominant in the soundstage. I just think that maybe during this part it might be a bit too piercing. I just think like the whole atmosphere is though really what's in focus all the time. It's so uplifting. Nice little instrumental break, some good harmonies, very wide panned. That's so nice. They use like transitional chords really well in this song, I like. I just get happy listening to this. It's very charming, I think. It's a very nice progression. It flows so well into each other, all the segments. And we're back with the instrumental breakdown. I like how it's also quite contrasted with the synth hits, or the piano synth hits up in the far register, and then you get the walking down, the guitar riff walking downwards for the second half of each bar. It's really effective. That was the song Över oss på Hinanden by Flamme, and I gotta say I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a superbly fun listening experience in so many ways. I think that this is like a real standout among all of the other songs, because there's nothing quite like it within the selection normally. It sounds, I mean, of course I guess it sounds Danish, because I think that it sounds kind of Swedish. It's a genre that I'm very familiar to having to listen to in a lot of the classic songs here in Sweden, and I guess it's the same in Denmark. So that's really charming. It has an approach which is very, very retro-friendly, and flirts a lot with, I think, mainly the 80s way of arranging music, especially with the sound design. It's very synth-driven. It has a kind of glossy guitar sound. Like the sound of the guitars are very glossy and very reminiscent of the whole synth era of the 80s. And vocally, it's quite, it's it's just charming, I think, with how there's like several voices in the vocal to really make it sing-along friendly, I believe. Of course, this won't. I can imagine how sing-along friendly it must have been in when they chose this in Denmark. Of course, it won't really be the same, I think, in just for all of Europe because it's in Danish. But I really admire that. It's so nice to have songs even from the Scandinavian countries. We actually, when a Scandinavian country actually dares to stick to their own language, because it happens so rarely. And it's so admirable when it does. I hope that Sweden can one day take after. Let's hope for a big success for Denmark here, because then maybe Sweden will learn something. Not only because of that, but let's also hope for a big success for Denmark, because they really did something quite extraordinary in this one, I think. It's super charming. It's super fun. It's really well written, I believe. It's quite obvious that the guys behind the song know what they're doing, and they know how to create a great movement both in chord and melody. I'm really like if we just stick to the opening part, I was so busy just trying to delve into everything that was going on in the early stages of the song. But the first verse, I believe it's like a 1-3-4-2 with the 3 and the 2 being minor chords. And when the second time goes around, they move to the major 4. They go to the minor 4 when they lead into the pre-chorus, which is so effective. I mean, we've talked about this before when they do the major to the minor version of the chord. Examples of that would be, I mean, the first one that comes into my head is when we discussed it listening to Fire Rumore last year. It's a very effective change of chord, and it's a very nice transition leading into a new segment. It's quite underused, I believe, but it feels like we're starting to get more and more songs using it, and it's very welcoming because I really like the sound of it. It's super just a charming way of transporting oneself from one segment of a song to another. So that's a big plus. Throughout the song there are many big pluses. I think the chorus is super cheerful. It's all major chords. It's very upbeat, and also with all of the sounds going behind it, it's very upbeat, very punchy, and just a joyous little listening experience to follow along to. It's very sing-along friendly, as I said, and I just enjoy the whole atmosphere of everything that's going on in this song, I believe. Production-wise, I think is kind of the one thing where I don't think it's very superb or so, because I should point out that it doesn't have to be, because this song has a completely different intention. But still, the production design, I think that mainly like this kick drum that we have in, I think mainly I highlighted it in the second chorus. It's not really deep enough, and it's not flowing well enough with the bass of the song to really create a more mellow and a cohesive movement in the lower frequencies. I think that would be my one and only like real critique, because I think that the sound design and the sound production could have been polished slightly. Even though that's not their focus, I think that that's where maybe some polishing could have been made and really created for, because when you just have a photo like I did now listening to it, I'm sure that it's not as engaging as it is when you see them perform it. I think that would probably be a greater experience, but I tried to like really take in the production when I listened to the songs, in order to kind of have a fair comparison between all of them. And I do think that maybe it falls just a little bit short in that regard. But as I said, that's not what they set out to do. What they set out to do was to entertain, I believe, and that's what they did to me. So I'm fully satisfied, and now I want to know if you are satisfied or if you are super upset with this song, whatever it is, I want you to tell me in the comments. I'm really looking forward to reading them. And let's just all agree that it's a nice welcome change to have a song in Danish. I believe it's probably been 20 years, hasn't it, since we've heard a song in Danish. So that's a real admirable point they made here. Other than that, I hope to see you in the next video, where I think we'll listen to the song from Estonia. So looking forward to that. Other than that, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.